Shakalaka boom. You've tuned in to the Free Range Human Show of Choice, your daily dose of reality radio. It starts right now. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards. We're on 103.9 FM, the Big Stick, here in Central Mississippi, WYAB. We're streaming worldwide at WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app, Alexa, and, of course, streaming in stunning 4K video this morning over on the Save JXN, the Save Jackson, even though it's a lost cause. Facebook, YouTube, X, Rumble, and we are on Instagram this morning as well. Wow, what a wild weekend in Central Mississippi. Lots of lessons were learned. And with the tragic situation that unfolded in Hinds County late last night into the late evening, Hinds County turned into an absolute war zone, and not just in Terry, Midway Road, where we lost a Hinds County deputy in a tragic domestic call incident gone terribly, terribly awry. South Jackson was an absolute war zone. Just what is going on? But hey, deflect. As long as Clay will talk bad about us, we can blame it all on him. We can blame it all. We can deflect and point the finger over at Clay, because he said that people that kill cops deserve to die. Those are God's children. I don't play that anymore. I don't play that. If you shoot a cop, not only do you deserve to die, you deserve to rot in hell. I said what I said, and if you don't like it, eat crap and die angry too. This is 2 Sundays in a row, back to back, that some thug decided to shoot a cop. Last Sunday, 18-year-old thug in Flowood. Thank God. The cop, well, I'm guessing they all wear the bulletproof vest. Thank God the guy had a bad shot. And he got the cop in the bulletproof vest, and he didn't have a Glock switch, and it shot up, and God, no, I don't even want to think about the damage it could have done. And then last night, Martin Shields Jr., Hinds County deputy, just leaves a call with the sheriff and others, saving some folks in a capsized boat out in Hinds County. I'm going to read y'all Sheriff Tyree Jones' Facebook post or social media post this morning. They had just left the call together, and the deputy took the call out in Terry, and Tyree heard it all unfold on the radio as he was in transportation, heading there, en route to it. Just sad situation. And I was reminded last night, it's been a long week, and I don't want to sit here and make this about me. I just want to make a point. The long week, I took a lot of flack this week from the black community in Jackson and Hinds County, but really just Central Mississippi in general. Not everybody. I got a lot of support too. But the black Democrat community, the urban Democrat, the police are out to get us community, made me their target this week. Lots of death threats. Lots of crazy stuff that I don't even want to talk about on here. And that's fine. That's fine. That's what I signed up for. Not what my family signed up for, but, they got thick skin. So it was a good reminder last night that this is why I do what I do. And not that affected me any one way or another. Well, it's sad. But that's why I support police the way I do. And that's why I don't mind calling this culture out where they feel like it's okay to shoot a cop. Now, early reports last night said that the man had killed his family, and then that's why he shot the cop. The best I can tell is that was wrong. Thank God. Thank God we're able to get here this morning and say that was wrong. Now, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but I've gotten several people tell me that the family was okay, the wife and child or wife and children. So glad to be wrong every now and then. Like I said, made a video last night, just kind of put all the information that we had. This is the information. We will revisit it in the morning, and we'll see what we got right, what we got wrong, and we'll update it here on the show. And as of right now, that is the update we have. I guess that could change. Another deputy was shot. They have not released his name. Appears that he is going to be okay. Again, thank God. Long night in South Jackson and in Byram, Terry, whatever you want to call it. Prayers out this morning. There's no handbook to how you're supposed to handle shows like this and how you're supposed to address these things, but just tragic evening for Hinds County and law enforcement community around here. And again, this is why I stay all gas, no brakes when it comes to my support for law enforcement. And I do not mind calling out the trash that attempt to kill or kill law enforcement officers. Their death is not a tragedy. I'm hearing it was a self-inflicted gunshot wound. I guess you could say that's unfortunate, only in the sense that, I would think, and I'm not a law enforcement officer, so I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I would think that, they were itching to get their comeuppance, or to give him his comeuppance. But he sucked the end off a shotgun last night, one way or another. So cheers to that. And if you don't like that, you can kiss my ASS this morning. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. The Mazda Jackson phone line, if you want to call in this morning, 601-879-0002. There is a cloud of evil settled over Jackson and a large part of Hinds County. Democrat death culture is just settled over the city. I'm 5 years into doing the Save Jackson stuff and the social media, 4 years into this radio show. Today's the 928th episode of this radio show here on WYAB. That don't count all the other podcasts and everything else, live streams that weren't on the radio. We're well over 1,000 episodes into this. And I shouldn't be surprised at all. But last week, and the reaction and the kickback, the pushback that I got, the people really exposed themselves. The lizard people came out of their skin last week. The racist lizard people came out of their skin last week with their attacks on me for suggesting that the city of Flowood, the city of Jackson, the surrounding areas is a better place without a thug that's willing to shoot a police officer on a routine traffic stop or any other reason for that matter, but especially something as mundane as a routine traffic stop. That's why we say there are no routine traffic stops. There's nothing routine in anything a police officer does when you're dealing with a bunch of unhinged, smooth-brained, future rocket scientists, engineers, and possibly even a NASA astronaut or two. When they were raised in a culture that's taught to hate the police, not trust the police. The police are the enemy. You don't have to do what they say do. You don't have to comply. Man, you don't. That's a fact. You in fact do not have to comply. And you can, in fact, meet your maker if you choose not to. In a worst case scenario. In a best case scenario, you can comply your ass all the way to the closest Hilton in Raymond, Madison County, or Rankin County. Or local jail. That's what we call them. McMillan used to call the Raymond, the Raymond Hilton. So if you ever hear me talk about the Hilton, that's where it stems from, is Sheriff McMillan. For you young bucks out there. Sheriff McMillan, former Hinds County Sheriff, called the jail out there the Hilton. So I have forever just referred to it as the Hilton out in Raymond. And, and that's your options. We also call it F around and find out, FAFO. I have no reservations giving that FAFO championship out. Again, some of the messages and things that I got sent this week by people, because of their blackness, it's all because of their blackness. Because even though I never mentioned anything about black, in any of this. But because I talked about it happened to be a black kid that tried to kill a cop. Therefore, you're not allowed to talk about a black person as a white person and it not be under anything other than the guise of racism. I had to have that conversation with some lady last night. I was defending myself, which I don't even know why. I learned a valuable lesson over the week about swinging down and giving some nobodies their 15 seconds of fame. Because, don't get me wrong, I still love to argue with folks. So, crabs in a bucket. But some lady last night, she said, I see you, the way you talk about black people. I was like, I'm not talking about black people. I'm replying to black people that are talking trash about me. Now, are you not allowed to? This is always the beef I have with Kamikaze, Brad Franklin. He thinks anybody that doesn't like him because he's black. It could have nothing to do with him being an absolute prick. Could have nothing to do with him being an absolute a-hole. It just 100%, if you disagree or dislike, it has to be because he's black. And that's just the mentality of a lot of these folks. What do you mean you don't like me? What do you mean I can call you any name in the book, anything in the book? I can say anything I want to you. And that's how they act. They can say anything they want to us. The most vile, nasty, disgusting things. Say things about our families. Anything. And if you say one thing back, oh, you're a racist. No, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. And I'm ashamed of my predecessors who have allowed it to get to this point where we have turned the other cheek for so long that when we finally don't turn the other cheek and we stay looking eye to eye and we punch back, that somehow that's misconstrued as racism. Like, no. The game has changed. The rules have changed. Y'all laid the rules out, and we just going to play by those rules. And it's just that damn simple. Check my phone here. They call the jail out in Madison County the Tucker Travel Lodge in Madison County. So it's not a Hilton. It's a Tucker Travel Lodge. So I just want everybody going forward to understand. You want equality, you're going to get it. I'm going to talk to you just like I talk to anybody else. And that's what I've been doing. And that's why they don't like me. Because I haven't bent the knee. See, to me, turning the other cheek because you're black would be racism. That would be treating you different because you're black. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to treat you exactly the same. I think that's fair. One of the guys, one of these anger addict weirdos tried to make some strange comparison to HINDS in Rankin County about the sex offender registry. It's really disturbing when your argument somehow is, yeah, we're the murder capital of the world, but per capita, y'all have more registered sex offenders in Rankin County. Well, when you include the jail, the state jail, CMCF or whatever, where they hold sex offenders in your search, yes, there's going to be a lot of sex offenders there because they're all posted up in that jail. Most of them probably from Jackson. And then that opens up a broader conversation, because when I shared this, a lot of people got to hitting me up. And we're going to talk about this on the other side of the break. A lot of people got to hitting me up with explanations for why and some of the things that's going wrong in HINDS County. And when I say HINDS County, I mean Jackson as a whole, just the whole area. About tracking and keeping up with the registered sex offenders that are living there. And they may not be doing the job they're supposed to be doing. We got a lot to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about how a convicted double murderer, we're going to talk about this when we come back from the break, a convicted double murderer's controversial parole his freedom that a lot of people feel like he did not deserve to ever taste again, how that freedom cost him his life. If you follow me on social media, if you've listened to this show for any amount of time, you're very familiar with John Williams III and the double murder he committed back in 2003 when he killed his father and stepmother. We've interviewed his former stepbrother Zeno Mangum on this show before. We're going to talk about that when we come back. And Apple, breaking news, Apple, thanks to Donald J. Trump, their words, not mine, thanks to Donald J. Trump, is bringing some manufacturing back to America. $500 billion, $500 billion investment back in America. 20,000 jobs coming to America. And the Democrats are mad because they love their slave labor. They love their slave labor. And this could affect some slave labor jobs in China. Will the Democrats boycott Apple because they're bringing jobs to America? Because America's becoming great again? Will the Democrats start using Samsung because of this? We'll find out. We're going to talk about that and more. This is the Clay Edwards Show. On a burner this morning. Hit the share button. Hit the like button. Drop a comment. Let me know you're out there. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show, live here on WYAB, streaming worldwide, WYAB.com, and in stunning 4K video on my social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. Just search Save JXN. This segment brought to you by Men's Health of Mississippi. Guys, you heard the ad there during the break. Get that testosterone level checked today. If you're suffering from fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, that's your sex drive, brain fog, or sleep disturbances, you could be suffering from low testosterone. And look, I say it kind of jokingly, but it's a statistical fact. If you voted Democrat, you likely have low testosterone. That's just a fact, Jack. Lower testosterone males tend to vote Democrat. Paint me shocked. You alienate one whole portion of society. You call them being masculine toxic. You're going to alienate folks that, I don't know, are masculine, regardless of their political affiliations. Look, we're going to help you with that. We're going to get your levels checked. We're going to find out if you, too, are dealing with being a Democrat. Having low testosterone. And that starts by texting my name, Clay, all caps, CLAY, to 601-327-8550. We're going to get you on the road to making you great again. That's right. Men's Health of Mississippi and the Clay Edwards Show. Pumping testosterone back through your veins since 2023. All right. Let's go over to Maggie Wade real quick. Maggie's going to, in WLBT, catch you up on what happened to James Williams III, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit more in depth. We're going to bounce around a little this morning. Just got a lot of topics I want to hit from over the weekend, and we will do some national stuff as well, so bear with me. This is a story that I've been extremely passionate about since it became a story. This is about James Williams III. Here we go.
Investigation is underway after a man is killed in a two-vehicle crash. The Mississippi Highway Patrol tells 3 on Your Side the incident happened at 12:20 p.m. today on Highway 18 near Sanctuary Drive. MHP says a Honda Civic was traveling north on Will Stutley Drive when it collided with the GMC Sierra that was traveling east on Mississippi 18. The driver of the Honda Civic, 39-year-old James Williams III, died at the scene. A family member confirms Williams is the same man who was released from prison after serving 20 years for killing his father and stepmother. They were shot to death, their bodies found in Brandon. The driver of the Sierra, Curtis Jones, and the passenger, Ruth Jones, were taken to a hospital with unknown injuries.
Now, let's let's do the whole story, shall we? Let's unpack that a little bit and give you the full story, as my friend Matt Bishop, the host of The Full Story here on WYAB 6A to 7A, every morning would. We got a huge crowd in the streaming bin. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this morning. Hit that share button. Hit that share button wherever you're watching. So James Williams III, back in 2003, hatched a plot, and he was 17 years old at the time, hatched a plot to kill his father and collect some insurance money. So for about a week before he actually killed them, and I do apologize if you have kids in the car this morning. This is sensitive. This is probably just not going to be the show for them this morning. We're going to be hitting a lot of sensitive topics. I probably should have told y'all that on the front end. I apologize. But, hey, sometimes they need to hear reality as well, not that nonsense that Disney shoves down their throats. Whew. Anyway, so he hatched a scheme to kill his dad and stepmom, and it started out by giving them rat poison. Well, for about a week, he tried to kill him. That wasn't working fast enough. So he shoots them. This is very thought out. This was not some spur of the moment crime of passion. He's a cold-blooded killer. Something's wrong with this guy that you don't fix. There's a chemical imbalance that you don't fix. He goes to prison. Well, he kills them, and this is what I'm about to say here is really, really disturbing. He cuts up the bodies, puts them in Rubbermaid totes. I said on my video 55-gallon drums. I was wrong about that. It's Rubbermaid totes. This happened over in South Jackson. He takes them out to the Shiloh Park area in Brandon, and I've heard two different things. He either dumped them out in the woods there, or he left them in the back of a Silverado pickup truck. I'm not sure exactly which one happened. If somebody knows, let me know so I can get my details correct. But either way, they were discovered out there a short time later. He goes to jail. 2 life sentences, no chance of parole. The United States Supreme Court took it upon themselves to say, hey, you can no longer charge a minor or sentence a minor with no chance of parole. They got to have a shot at parole. Now, whether you give them parole or not is irrelevant. You can just say, parole denied. It's that easy. Well, after 20 years, the Mississippi Parole Board, much against the chagrin of the family of Cindy Williams, and there were some shenanigans involved here too. They did not notify the family that there was going to be a hearing, because the family's been there every year saying, no, we do not want this monster in our community. The family does not want this guy out. If he can do that once, he absolutely can do it again. Parole board said, F y'all, we going to do what we going to do. Some powerful church members at one of the churches in Rankin County got involved, and they got this guy out. Said he can do the Lord's work out here. He can do ministry. He should have been doing that ministry in jail. He may still be alive. But I digress. He gets out. Within 6 months, Mr. Williams, after being sober for 20-some-odd years behind bars, well, look, I know that you can get drugs and alcohol behind bars, but for the sake of arguing, in theory, should have been sober for 20-some-odd years behind bars. He decides to start drinking to the point that he's doing some day drinking, which, like, I love doing some day drinking, too. That's my jam. I love some sitting out on the patio of a Mexican restaurant like El Patrio and having some draft beers, occasional shot or two, look, with an Uber or a DD, of course. And that's where Mr. Williams, I guess he wasn't aware that we had this new thing called Ubers. Well, he was doing some day drinking on a Friday. It was actually the same Friday as Pearl's homecoming last year. I remember this specifically. Well, he has a single car accident, wrecks his car into a ditch right there on Highway 80. He goes inside the quick lube place. I think he may have worked there. Don't remember for sure. The police see the wrecked car, or somebody calls them and tells them, one or another. They go in there and say, who's driving the car that's in the ditch? They point to him. They arrest him. They lock him up. And everybody just assumed, oh, well, they're going to provoke his parole. He's going to have to go back to prison. And, well, that's where we were mistaken. Apparently, the way the law is written, I'm actually not going to attack the judge here because they kind of made the same point. I don't remember the judge, but they said the way the law is written, first offense DUI cannot send you back to prison as a parole violation. That's unfortunate. I think if you get paroled for double murder, cold-blooded, vicious double murder that you spent about a week trying to commit, I just think you should live under a different set of rules. I think if you poot in public at this point, that should be a violation of your parole. But there's reasons I'm not in charge. Sometimes common sense just doesn't make sense to certain people. So he's locked up for a little bit while they sort that out. He gets out. I don't know. He may have been in jail a month, 2, 3. I don't know. A year and a half goes by almost. And, you know, he's on his best behavior. We haven't heard anything about Mr. Williams. And I was out on a ruck Saturday around 2 o'clock. And I get a call from somebody who says, hey, just a heads up. I just got a tip that James Williams has been killed in a car accident. And somebody had texted me earlier that day on my Facebook and said, hey, there's been an accident with a DOA, dead on arrival. So I knew that there had been a wreck in Brandon, and I knew somebody had died. And when they told me that, I put 2 and 2 together real quick and figured out it was James, Mr. Williams there. I immediately texted and called Zeno Mangum, the son of one of his victims, Miss Cindy Williams. And he had just heard, I think from his aunt maybe. And he was very conflicted. He was like, you know, he was very emotional. I could tell. He said as much. I didn't know how he was supposed to feel. I said, well, just know that God doesn't make mistakes. And sometimes karma doesn't come as fast as we want it to. Karma caught up with James Williams III on Saturday, December 22nd, 2025, at approximately 12:20 p.m. And he met his maker. And if he had his life right and God forgived him for his sins, then he's in heaven. If he did not, he is not. But that is the story of how James Williams III, a convicted, cold-blooded double murderer from right here in central Mississippi's freedom, cost him his life. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. Sorry, I meant February 22nd, not December 22nd. I don't even know where I got December from. My bad. February 22nd, 2025. I was looking at 25 here and said, I was looking at 2025 here and I don't know, I thought December 25th, thinking Christmas or something. Hell, I don't know. Anyway, here's a picture of the car. If y'all want to see it. I loaded it up to my photos. Here's a picture of the car he was in. So if y'all want to screenshot that, I'll leave it up there for just a second. I'm guessing he wasn't wearing his seatbelt, maybe. I don't know. The other side looks to be pretty damaged, so he must have got T-boned there. And I know a girl that got killed in a car wreck where her head hit the seatbelt, hit the door pillar, and it hit her temple right there, and she died on impact. And the wreck didn't look too bad otherwise. So it could have been a situation like that. I see the airbag is deployed. So that's a witness there on the scene took that photo. He's not in the car there. That is the aftermath. So, again, another situation where Clay didn't have a whole lot of sympathy. We're going to take this break, and we'll be right back. Again to the Clay Edwards Show, here live on WYAB. This segment brought to you by Juniker Jewelry, right out there on Highland Colony Parkway in Madison, Mississippi. Check out Juniker for unmatched selection. With over 10 times the inventory of most other jewelry stores, Juniker Jewelry offers an incredible variety of fine jewelry, engagement rings, watches, and estate pieces. They got the easiest way to shop for an engagement ring. Their engagement rings are clearly marked and organized by price range, making finding the perfect ring within your budget simple and stress-free. That is so true. When I was there the other day doing the live remote on Valentine's, the way they have all their engagement rings laid out in different price ranges and got the prices on them, it made looking at all that so simple. Instead of having to ask the guy constantly, how much is that one? 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 It's one of the things I hate about going to a jewelry store. That is not something you're going to have to deal with at Juniker Fine Jewelry right there in Highland Colony. One more thing real quick. I can sit here and talk about them forever. I'm not going to do that to you. They got a great program for diamonds. It's called the Juniker Jewelry Diamond Stud Program. Buying diamond studs from Juniker is more than just a purchase. It's an investment. When you are ready to upgrade, they credit you 100% of your original purchase price towards a larger pair. It's a lifetime trade-up program that grows with you. Guys, that's huge. And let's just say you spend $1,000 on some studs. You keep them 10 years. You want to trade them up. Even if they've gone down in value, you still get $1,000 back. Imagine that if you bought a car and it did the same thing. You drove a car for 5 years and you traded it in and they gave you what you paid for it. Nobody would ever be upside down. Well, that's what Juniker offers you with their Diamond Stud program. Check them out on location, Madison, Mississippi. Juniker Jewelry right there over by Madison Central High School on Highland Colony. All right, correction. Thank you, everybody who paying attention this morning. I said December 2025. It was obviously February 2025 when Mr. Williams met his maker. I was looking at I don't know where the heck I got it from, honestly. I think I saw 25 on the calendar and thinking December 25th. Just thought December. Got this red, white, and blue flag behind me. America. The red and blue. Christmas. Red and white, I mean. Anyway, your boy makes mistakes every now and then, too. So, yeah, man, that was a good reminder of karma. Now, of course, when I posted that, a lot of my anger addicts in the comments that are still so mad at me for pointing out that where the Tri-County area is now safer without a wannabe cop killer roaming the streets. They're so mad at me about that. But they said that is how, maybe if they're lucky, maybe that's how I'll meet my maker soon one day. So those are the kind of trash that I deal with here. But that is my hill to die on. That is my my sword, whatever the saying is. My cross to bear. That's the saying. That's my cross to bear. But hey, just know if you come for the king, you better kill him. That's how y'all have this myth in your heads that you're going to roll up on me and I'm not going to do anything back. I'm just going to sit there and say, oh, you got me. That's not how that's going to play out. I just want you to understand that this ain't a video game. This is real life. Real life ain't the internet. That's what y'all keep telling me. I just hope you understand that. Would you keep that energy? Real life, in fact, is not the internet. So, if you come for the king, you better kill him. Let's check out some of your comments here. We had a caller on hold. If you want to call back, the Mazda Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. David Funches, shout out to Mr. Funches, one of my favorite people. He said, don't forget to block all the dumb idiots. No, definitely won't forget to. I've been on a blocking spree. I have decided that I'm not going to let a bunch of people ruin everybody else's social media experience on my platform. It's gotten too big. Too much work has gone into it. Let me move y'all's comments onto the screen there. The Save Jackson, Clay Edwards pages, whatever. I'm not going to continue to let you use my platforms to create your own. In other words, I'm not Tupac. I'm not going to make you famous. Now, I can. And I did that for a few people this week. You're welcome. You're welcome. You got more eyeballs and clicks than you've ever gotten before. But I put that genie back in the bottle. And I've just been on a blocking spree. You know, if all you're going to do is come and sprinkle, you hate me so much, you hate my platform so much, I'm going to do you a favor, and I'm going to remove you from it. It's real simple. You know, I'm always a fan of engagement. I don't mind people having an opinion. You definitely don't have to agree with me all the time. But there's some things that are going to be just a step too far. And a few people found out that step this week. Block game, William says block game should be strong in 2025. It's very strong, William. Thank you. Let's give you a little shout out right here. William on YouTube. William Q Panama. Block game should be strong in 25. Boy, it is, man. Pimp hand strong. As I've gotten older, my pimp hand's now my block hand. Let's see here. Marcy says, you've got this. Keep pushing through. Back the blue. Yeah, you know, I never thought, I truly didn't. Even on the worst days here in the area, like I just never thought the supporting police would have me on the perceived wrong side of history. Now, I know I'm not. And I know there's plenty of good folks out there. And there's a lot of black folks here in Jackson that reached out to me and just wanted me to know that they had my back and they appreciate what I do. And I'm going to be honest, I needed to hear that from some folks because sometimes you begin to wonder, does everybody feel that way? And I had some folks reach out and they wanted to stay anonymous, and I completely understand that. I truly do, dealing with what I've dealt with from these folks. So, again, I do appreciate the kind words, and there's some people who have been supporting this movement since day one that call into this show. Black folks from Jackson and from the surrounding areas that support what we do. And I truly appreciate that. You guys' support doesn't go unnoticed. But I also understand why you're a little timid about being too public, because you have to live amongst that nonsense a little more than I do. So that doesn't go unnoticed. It does not go unnoticed. Shout out to Derek real quick, one of our good friends and followers of the show, Derek Wash. I saw that his daughter was sick. Derek, we're praying for her. I hope she's doing better. We'll keep her and y'all in our prayers. All right, we got to take a break real quick. I ran over a couple segments. Y'all know how this works. We got to make it up. Online audience, I'm going to stay with y'all, read some of your comments. Radio audience, don't go anywhere. Top of the hour, I want to talk about some more Jackson stuff, and we're going to hit some effing around and some finding out stories too. Did y'all know that the Vice Lords were still a thing? Did y'all know that apparently they got a rainbow division of the Vice Lords? We found that out over the weekend too. We're going to talk about that and more in hour two. Them VLs took some big L's trying to be on the DL. Oh, the stories write themselves. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, I'm back. Let me pull my schedule up here so I can make sure I'm not running back over when we come back from commercial there. All right, we got about 4 minutes. All right, Miss Susan, thank you so much. Thank you so much. John Smith, Bill, Kristen, appreciate y'all. Man, my friend Kristen down there lives out there close to where all the chaos unfolded last night in Hinds County, and they were legit worried, man. And I was worried for them. I got some family over there too. My daughter's other grandparents live out that way, and her sister lives over that way. And, you know, it's scary when you got to guy on the loose, or they think is on the loose, that kills a cop. At this point, we thought he killed his family. I mean, this is a guy that'll do anything. He ain't got nothing left to live for. You know, fortunately, I have no sympathy for him. You know, he eliminated himself, and nobody else had to do it. So, I was trying to say that earlier, and I kind of got like to jumping down some rabbit holes. But the good thing about him killing himself is the fact that no cop has to live with that on their conscience. Even if in the moment they want to be the one to give him his comeuppance, they don't have to do it because he did it himself. So that's probably for the best, right? Yeah, Andrew Gasser says, let me read Andrew's comment here. Andrew fills in some here at the radio station. Says, nice work, Clay. We were locked down less than a mile from us. Man, it's scary. Shout out to the Hinds County Sheriff's Department. Great work getting it done, and prayers for the officer that didn't die. You know, I know we throw the word prayers and thoughts and prayers, and we throw all that around, but we mean that. We legitimately mean that. And it's we're very blessed this morning that even inside the tragedy that happened, that it wasn't worse. Because those guys rolled up on an ambush is what happened. I mean, he knew he was going to kill them cops or try to kill them cops when they got there, you know. So I mean, evil was eliminated last night. Good morning to Miss Kara from WLBT. And y'all make sure y'all are watching the WLBT midday live stream with Kara. I think it comes on at 1 p.m. every day. She's been interviewing all of the mayoral candidates for Jackson. She interviewed our very own Kim Wade, Radio Strongman, last week. You can go find that on their Facebook or YouTube channel. Really, really good interview. Kim did a great job. I shared it on my Facebook page. Same one y'all are watching this on, if you want to go back and watch it. Justin says, good morning, Clay. I'm a bartender out at Martin's. Love you, bud. Hey, love you too, brother. Good seeing. I was over there. I went out to Martin's Livingston Saturday night. Sat at the bar. Had the Mardi Gras pasta. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Kara confirms the show is at 1:00. Bobster 70 on YouTube says, keep doing what you're doing. We got your back. I appreciate it. Jonna says, and taxpayers don't have to feed him for the rest of his murderous life. You know, that is something that we don't talk about a lot, but that is a big savings on the taxpayers of the state of Mississippi, not having to pay for these murderous bastards that kill themselves after they commit a crime. I got to go quiet for a minute as we come back from the break so I don't bleed over into the intro. Y'all stay with me. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. I tried to stop talking there before the break so I wouldn't bleed over into the intro, but I still managed to bleed over into the intro. We got about a minute left here of this hour. As I said previously, when we come back, I want to talk about Apple coming back to America. Will the Democrats be mad? You know they're mad. I'm boycotting Apple. We love our Chinese slave labor, or any kind of slave labor. Don't come to America. That makes Donald Trump look good. You literally got Democrats out there. I'm not kidding you. You literally got some crazy single white liberal women that are now supporting the Mexican cartels over America because they think it'll make Donald Trump look bad or look good if he eliminates the cartels. You can't make it up. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show. All right. I want to talk about Joy Reid's ass getting fired, too. We got a lot to celebrate today. Guys, we are winning. Now, it's a sad day here locally. Sad weekend here locally. But big picture, the good guys are winning. The good guys are winning. I'm losing some weight, too. I don't know if y'all can tell, but looking at myself there, that weight loss and back in the gym full time, I can see the difference. You can, too. Text Clay to Men's Health of Mississippi. I'm never above a quick plug. You'd think I'd remember the phone number by now. 601-327-8550. It might be time for a new picture, too. My beard has turned gray since that photo was taken. It may have already been gray when that photo was taken. It may have just been hiding behind some dye. I can't confirm or deny. Adam says Apple is building a plant in Mobile. Yeah, I haven't even had a chance to read the story yet. It broke as I was coming in this morning, and I hadn't even had a chance to look at it yet. Let's see here. Lamorris Whitehead says, good morning, Clay. Keep up the great job. Thank you so much. Miss Angela says, good morning. I'm heading to the gym right now. Oh, yeah, Shane, thank you so much for this, man. I forgot. The thing last night, the big story, the news broke last night with all the stuff that was going on in Hinds County, and I was watching Salty Cracker, and I just threw my show prep right out the window because when a cop dies, that moves to the front of the line on anything we're doing around here. I just throw the rest of my show prep away. But Dan Bongino has been named the deputy director of the FBI. A lot of us thought maybe he would be named the head of the Secret Service. That one never really made a whole lot of sense to me because he makes so much money doing his show and being part owner of Rumble and all of that. It just didn't make sense to go be the head of Secret Service, even though I know that's where his experience lied. But deputy director of the FBI, that's a big title. That's a big job. Not that Secret Service director isn't. But you can do some real cleaning up in the FBI. I love that. Yeah, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino running the FBI. Is this real life? We are winning so bigly. So much winning. It's phenomenal. So much winning. The phone is ringing here at the radio station. Guys, look, I know some of the hosts here, they don't mind taking phone calls during the breaks. I don't take phone calls during the breaks. If y'all want to talk, folks using my name. I hate wishy-washy people. Like 1 second you acting like we boys, and then the next second you're just using my name to grow your platform. I like consistency from people. Either consistently hate me or consistently like me, but you can't do both. Like you got to pick. Like I got an enemies list. And I don't waver from it. I consistently dislike them. All right, we got to take a quick break as we get ready to come back from break here. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the RADIO and online, streaming worldwide at Save JXN on Facebook, X, YouTube, Rumble, and Instagram. We're also on 103.9 FM WYAB here locally in Central Mississippi and WYAB.com, as well as the TuneIn app and Alexa. People ask all the time, Clay, does WYAB have an app so I can listen to that great lineup of reality, real talk radio all day? No, technically. But if you pull your phone out, you'll go to your proprietary browser. If you have an Android, it would be Chrome. If you have a Apple product, it would be Safari. You go to WYAB.com, hit listen now. And when the player pulls up, hit that little arrow on the bottom, save to home screen. And then boom, all you got to do, hit that, and it will drop in live on whatever show is on. Whether it's mine, it's Chip Matthews, who's up next from 9 to 10 every Monday and Tuesday. From 6A to 7A, it's Matt Bishop. Jamison Haygood from 10 to noon. We got a couple national shows in the midday there. And then the radio strong man himself, Mr. Kim Wade. the next mayor of Jackson, Mississippi, as I hold the sign up there for our internet audience to see. 4 to 6 p.m. daily, right here on WYAB. Of course, I do upload Kim's show as a podcast. It just runs a day behind, and found out it's not on Apple, but it's on Spotify and Podbean and all these other places. Anyway, Kim Wade Show, check it out. It's worth listening. Hey, real quick, this segment brought to you by our friends over at Huey Magoo's, the filet mignon of chicken. They got 2 great locations to serve you. One right there at the entrance, at the Highway 80 entrance to the outlet malls in Pearl, right there on Bass Pro Drive, and another one right on Highway 25, right up by Castlewoods in Flowwood there. Huey Magoo's serves up only the top 3% of premium chicken tenders. Huey Magoo's handcrafted tenderloins are marinated for 24 hours and cooked to perfection. And you and your family will absolutely taste the difference. That's true. They really are that much better than just about any other chicken joint I've ever had. Huey Magoo's is not your ordinary chicken restaurant either. They got wraps, sandwiches, salads, and meals. You hungry yet? You know you are. Visit them today. Bass Pro Drive in Pearl or Lakeland Drive in Flowwood. Huey Magoo's, the filet mignon of chicken. The Guns and Gear text line is 769-241-1944. 769-241-1944. Mazda of Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. My buddy Fred from Storage 24 text says, surely you're talking about another Fred. Absolutely, Fred. I am definitely talking about another Fred. I'm definitely talking about another Fred. Not you, my friend. Not you, my friend. Speaking of Storage 24, y'all know I'm throwing a little concert. You'll be hearing more about it here in the next few days, and especially like next week. But Friday, March 7th, over at McBee's out on the big patio, bringing some old friends to town, 12 Stones, 2 million records sold, Grammy Award winning lead singer Paul McCoy, coming to do a little unplugged concert for us. My buddies over in Storage 24, my buddies in Burnham Road, they're going to open the show up for us. Live, raw, and unplugged. It's going to be great. Tickets are on sale now at eventbrite.com. Just search 12 Stones, and it'll pop up there. VIP tables and tickets available now. Only about 100 tickets left. We're only sold on 150 for this thing. It's a limited engagement, an evening with. When it's sold out, it is sold out. There won't be any more tickets available. Looking forward to that. First ticketed concert I've done in over 10 years. I'm excited about it. I'm nervous. I can't afford to lose no money, so I need y'all's support. Anyway, let's get back to it, shall we? Where do I want to start at? I do want to mention a FAFO incident that I just didn't have a chance to make a video for. And I want to be careful not to name the bar here because, look, man, when you're a bar in Jackson, you clearly are facing an uphill struggle. But a family friend owns a bar there on Highway 80. I know. Tough call there, right? Highway 80 in Jackson. But a family friend owns a bar there. Been there for a long time. It's a Jackson institution. Its former location and its new one. Well, a fella decided to roll up in there. Was it Saturday maybe? I'm trying to find the story here real quick. Anyway, it's the second time he's tried to rob this place. And I can't remember the exact ending. He either got his butt whooped or he got shot. Here it is. I found it. Suspect shot after attempting to rob Jackson business. A man is in the hospital after attempting to rob a Jackson business Friday afternoon. The Mississippi Department of Corrections says Capitol police officers responded to a call at 1:18 p.m. regarding an attempted robbery at a business on Highway 80. Once officers arrived at the scene, they learned that Jonathan Gibson, 27, had fled the scene after being shot in the stomach by another individual inside the establishment. I have seen the video of this, and it is glorious. I was asked not to share it, so I ain't going to, but y'all know I love nothing more than to see a Jacksonian F around and find out. It is not the first time he's tried to rob this establishment. But it's probably the only establishment on Highway 80. Well, no, that would be a lie. It ain't the only one. But it's it's one of the only establishments left, one of the only establishments left on Highway 80 in Jackson that you would say a lot of Trump supporters hang out in. And Biden, Harris, Obama supporter effed around and found out that we're done. We are done. If it's going to be you or it's going to be me, it's going to be F you. You heard me? You heard me? Like my brothers in New Orleans say, you heard me? What I want to talk about now is the gay vice lords. Oh, the 12 Stones concert is March 7th, Friday, March 7th at McBee's. Like I said, you're going to be hearing a lot more about it here over the next 2 weeks. I promise. Y'all going to be tired of hearing about it. Y'all may remember Paul, while I'm pulling this story up. Y'all may remember Paul McCoy. He's actually from Florence, Mississippi. He was on Evanescence hit Bring Me to Life. He's the male vocalist on there. It's his band. He moved to Mandeville, Louisiana when he was a little younger, but he's from Florence. So he's a Mississippi boy coming home. I did 12 Stones a bunch of times out at my clubs over the years, probably 8, 9 times I brought 12 Stones to town. We had a huge showing every time they came. So I'm hoping this will be no different. It'll be the first time they played the market in about 8 years. Let me pull this up here. Like I said, this gives gangbanging a whole new meaning, doesn't it? Wah, wah, wah. Here we go. Them VLs taking some big L's trying to get on the DL out in Byram over the weekend. I just love this story. This checks off so many boxes to be a great Clay Edwards Show story. Just getting it all right here. I want this to be perfect. If I'm going to get killed talking about the Vice Lord, I want to make sure I get it all in. Here we go. Ah, crap. All right, let's try it again, shall we?
In Byram, police arrest a gang member accused of shooting someone he met on the dating app Tagged. Shakur McGee
and I did confirm Tagged is in fact a gay hookup app. I Googled it.
Of Brookhaven is charged with aggravated assault and being a felon in possession of a firearm. Byram police say he is a member of the Vice Lords. Officers say the man was shot yesterday on Davis Road. McGee was then arrested in Lincoln County with help of Brookhaven police. He has an extensive criminal history for crimes like robbery and burglary.
Hand up. When he was and apparently shooting people on gay hookup apps. Like, people kept asking me, how do you know he's a verified Vice Lord? That's what the news said. That's how I know. WLBT told me. Dark Horse Press told me. Verified Vice Lord. I mean, look, man, I don't make the rules up here. I just read the news and give y'all my opinion on it. Yeah, a verified Vice Lord. I guess it's that prison culture. Something, a phrase that I've learned the last couple of years since I started doing this. I didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently there's gay and there's prison gay. Apparently prison gay just means you're only gay when you're in prison, not in real life. So when you're kind of out in the public, you are only gay when you're in prison. But if you bring that out in the real world with you, then you're gay in real life. So I don't know. That's a lot of confusion there for me. Gay is gay, and $20 is $20. Let's take a break real quick, come back, hit the reset button, because I don't know how the hell I can transition from that story to another one and take the next story serious. This is the Clay Edwards Show. We'll be right back. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show here live on WYAB. Just had a visitor stop by the studio and say hey. Love that. Love getting to meet folks. Shout out to Big Head swinging by. And make sure I'm going to watch that documentary. I have committed. I'm going to watch the Dr. Artist documentary, The Antidote. Somebody is passionate enough to stop by here to see me in person. to make sure I watch a documentary. Dang it, I got to watch this documentary. And we're going to do that today. Right, real quick, this segment brought to you by our friends over at Guns and Gear. They're not open today, but they'll be open tomorrow. Go see Hunter and the team Tuesday through Saturday right there, Highway 51 North, Gluckstadt, Mississippi. I went by there the other day and bought me not one but two holsters, one from my 40 and one from my 9. And I'm telling y'all that after the last week of interesting messages and threats that F around and find out. That's all I'm going to tell you. But with that said, swing by, get prepared yourself out at Guns and Gear. They have all your new favorite guns. Man, they got some 12 gauges. And I'm just tell you, look, I'm not a gun guy, but I'm a guy that has guns and likes guns. But I can't tell you a whole lot about them outside the ones I have. They got this new, it's got 12 gauge with a magazine in it. You can pump, bad guy gone, bad guy gone, bad guy gone. It's only like $500. It's a lot of gun for $500. Swing by there, check that out. And of course, they got all your pistols, ARs, and everything else you could imagine. They can take care of all your Cerakoting, gunsmithing, new guns, used guns, and of course, they buy guns. They buy estates. You've had a family member pass away, got a big gun collection. You want to get a number on it, try to figure out what it's worth. Give Hunter a call. He'll put you a fair market value offer on it. You can shop it around, whatever, or you can sell it to him. Know you're selling it to somebody local that's gonna treat it right. Maybe they can help you sell it. I don't know how all that works. I don't know if they do consignment or not. You have to holler at them about that. But it's a good place to start and get you good information there. Gunsandgear.co is the website. Gunsandgear.co is the brand new website. That's Guns and Gear, Highway 51 North, Gluckstadt, Mississippi. All right, let's pivot here real quick. Shout out, we talked about this during the break, but shout out to Dan Bongino. I mean, we're just like, MAGA is doing so much winning right now. I don't even think we understand the winning that we're doing. We got Dan Bongino as deputy director of the FBI. We got Kash Patel as the director of the FBI. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. over Health and Human Services. Linda McMahon over the Board of Education to see its demise. Pam Bondi as the AG. Tulsi Gabbard over intelligence. I mean, I feel like Pete Hegseth over our military. Defense Secretary. Donald Trump is the president. We got Elon Musk as his right-hand man and J.D. Vance as the VP. Man, if we had this in 2016, we would be mid-80s level superpower right now. So much winning. But somewhere in the midst of all this winning, we've done a little bit of losing, guys. I wasn't going to talk about this, but it seems like a good segue. Somewhere in all that winning, we've done some losing. Gen X ain't taking this L either, by the way. Gen X is not taking this L. Millennials, Gen Z, y'all gonna hold this L. Because on my watch, this didn't happen. Hooters has filed bankruptcy. When did young men, I blame this on Obama, lighting the White House up in rainbows. When did young men not like boobs, big booties, cold beer, and chicken wings? How did this happen? We were once a whole country, just like Jody Owens is a whole damn DA. We was once a whole proper country. And now Hooters is filing bankruptcy. How does that happen? How do big booties, big boobies, hot wings, and cold beer go out of style? I know it ain't because chicken wings aren't popular anymore. There's a chicken wing joint on every corner. But that's not why we went to Hooters. That's why we said we went to Hooters. No, I go because I like the food. I like those Daytona wings. I really do like those Daytona wings. I like the buffalo scrimp. I like it the way she writes her name on the napkin and puts a little salt on it so my beer won't pull the napkin up every time I pick it up off the table. The way they sit at the table and talk to me like I've never had any female interaction before in my life. I'm so disappointed in our young men. I guess the statistics are true about Gen Z not only being the most conservative generation, but the gayest as well. It's a sad day in America. It truly is. What's the name of the gay Hooters? Dangalangs? Something like that? Tallywhackers. That's it. That's a true story, by the way. It's a true story. Down goes Hooters. Rising from the ashes like a phoenix is Tallywhackers. Thanks, Obama. Thanks. All right. Back to the winning. Look, you gotta take an L every now and then. You gotta take an L every now and then. But back to the winning. Apple is investing $500 billion. Good. They should. As much money as we spend on these dang iPhones, they should. And and I'm so tired of the argument that Democrats and libertarians like to make. If they built it in America, you couldn't afford it. How do you know? Quit counting my money. Get out of my pocketbook. I mean, I am willing to pay a little bit more, or maybe even a lot more, if it's made in America. I mean, hell, I'm getting micro billed $35 a month nonstop anyway. Upgrading my phone every 2 years, it's a never ending. Drag it out a couple extra years. I'll keep the phone a year longer. I don't care. I want stuff built in America. I don't care if the microchips come from China. I don't care if the parts are sourced from China. Hell, Toyota builds cars and trucks here. They don't cost more because they're built here. They actually save money because they're built here. All right, yes, some of the parts come from China. I get it. It's a global economy. Everything doesn't have to be 100% American made. But can we give some Americans some jobs in the midst, in all this, outside of just working the counter at a retail store? Can we get some American manufacturing back? I mean, I think there's a happy medium there. But the globalists, the Democrats, and the libertarians, for whatever reason, seem to be dead set on, we don't need American manufacturing because it'll cost more. We won't be able to afford it. Look, maybe we'll have to have a reckoning with the unions. I don't know. I'm not an anti-union guy. I'm not a pro-union guy. I've learned to kind of stay out of that fight a little bit. I mean, I have seen where up north and in the Midwest where it's caused a lot of problems. But I've also seen down south and right to work states where there's a downside to not having some type of unionization. Look at the Nissan plant, for example. And I didn't mean to jump down this rabbit hole, but talking about American manufacturing. Look at the Nissan plant. I don't know what the exact number is, so if I'm wrong on this, forgive me. But I would say 40%, if not more, of their staff, and I've mentioned this before, a large majority of the staff at the Nissan plant don't even work for Nissan. They work for like a staffing agency like Kelly Staffing or something like that. And they did that, to the best of my knowledge, because of Obamacare. And then, if they're a full-time employee, they have to give them full benefits. If they're through a staffing agency and they work 39 hours, and again, I may have some of my details wrong on this. Y'all bear with me. They don't have to give them benefits. I mean, regardless of what side you're on, that's kind of working the system, and that's somewhere else where Obamacare kind of screwed us. So I have a liberal and a Republican philosophy on this. I feel bad for the folks that aren't getting the full benefits. But the very person they voted for and shoved down our throats with Obama and Obamacare are the reason they're not full-time employees. So it's like, what do you do? But did you know that if you work somewhere like Nissan or you work for a staffing agency, and if you work for a staffing agency, you probably know this. But I learned this when I was doing finance out there. When Mac Haik first came to town, they bought the, is it Harrell Chevrolet, the one in Canton? They bought the old Canton Chevrolet dealership, and that's when they deported me to go do finance. And sold a lot of cars to people that worked at the Nissan plant. And that's when I found out that you can't use the income from a staffing agency, even if you only work there and it's pretty much your full-time job. You can't use that income to buy a car. Banks don't recognize it. You have to go to like a buy here, pay here dealership to get a car. If you work for a staffing agency, even though you only work at Nissan and they don't call you and send you from one place to. I worked for a staffing agency when I was younger. Like one day you'd be at a paint store, one day you'd be over here, one day you'd be doing this, whatever. But now like Nissan hires through these big. I'm just using Nissan as my example here because I dealt with that, on a different level before. I'm sure that's not exclusive to Nissan, but they're just one of the biggest employers around here. Maybe Amazon does the same thing. I don't know. But anyhow, glad to see more manufacturing coming back to America. I hope they're true full-time jobs and not staffing agency jobs. But let's just kind of read you the synopsis real quick here, and we'll move on to some more exciting stuff. But hey, we got to take these W's. Apple Incorporated has announced plans to invest $500 billion in the United States over the next 4 years, focusing on enhancing its U.S. manufacturing capabilities and creating jobs. The investment will include the construction of a new AI server factory in Houston, Texas, and the expansion of research and development funds across various states. The initiative aims to boost innovation, particularly in AI, while also responding to the global economic landscape influenced by trade policies, i.e. tariffs. And here's what our Lord and Savior, Donald J. Trump, has tweeted out, or X'd, or truthed, or whatever you want to call it. It says, Apple has just announced a record $500 billion investment in the United States of America. The reason? Faith in what we are doing, without which they wouldn't be investing 10 cents. Thank you, Tim Cook and Apple. Amen. Amen. Let's see here. Caroline Levitt, our press secretary, says, big news. Apple plans to spend $500 million in U.S. and hire 20,000 people. Apple CEO Tim Cook said in the announcement, we are bullish on the future of American innovation. I love it, man. This is a day for victory. Everybody should be happy today. I don't care if you like Donald Trump. We got to get to this. We got to get past this point in America where we hate our political opposition so much that we don't want to see them get a win that's good for America. Republicans don't need to do it when Democrats get a win. Democrats don't need to do it when Republicans get a win. And yes, I am throwing rocks from inside my glass house. I know I've been guilty of that as well. But we as a country need to try to get past that and really start looking at doing things for the right reasons. And, it just feels like to me that what Trump has done since day one has all been good for America, regardless of your political affiliation. And we're seeing the people, again, you're seeing the lizard people come out of their skin. Just like here locally with all the people who support cop killers, and nationally with all the people who would rather the Mexican drug cartels get a win than to see Donald Trump get a win. They should be deported. Frankly, they should be lined up against a cinder block wall as traitors. And, we're streaming worldwide and there's kids listening in the cars, but you know what you do to people you lined up in front of a cinder block wall. And don't blindfold them. Let them see it coming. Let them see it coming. And I know I'll repeat myself a lot, but sometimes I want to drive a point home. If I say it twice, I mean it. I can't say later, if I get called out on it and I got to stand 10 toes down, as they like to say, stand on business. You better stand on that business. I stand on my business. If I say it twice, I can't unsay it. I can't say it's a slip of the tongue. Line them up so they can see it coming. Let's take a break. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show. We're live here on WYAB. This segment brought to you by our good friends over at A1 Gear and Auto. Check them out today, Highway 49 South, Florence, Mississippi. They can handle all your automotive repair and replacement needs, your maintenance. Got brakes vibrating every time you touch them, squeaking, making noise. They can take care of your brakes, but what they specialize in is your ring and pinion. If you have any ring and pinion issues, you need to upgrade any of that, they got you covered. They are the industry leader when it comes to your ring and pinion work here in central Mississippi. But again, they can take care of any automotive needs you have. The only thing they don't work on is diesel engines. They can repair, they can refer you to somebody, or occasionally we have a diesel engine repair shop here on the station. We can refer you to them. But I do appreciate, you get people to reach out to us all the time and say, hey, do you have a sponsor that does this and fills in the blank? And we usually do. But I'm going to tell you, the kind of sponsors that I'm looking to add to the show right now are people who do personal service stuff, work on your homes, plumbers, electricians, locksmiths, a body shop, stuff of that nature. If you own any of those kind of businesses, just offer personal services, appliance repair, stuff of that nature. You're looking to expand your brand. We're looking to expand ours, and let's team up and let's help each other out, and let's get you in front of the fastest growing audience in the state, right here on the Clay Edwards Show and any of the other shows here on WYAB as well. We're always adding great entertainment to our lineup, and would love for you to be a part of it. Reach out to me, clay@wyab.com, clay@wyab.com. Do you build decks? You do any kind of stuff like that? We're getting into that time of the year. I think we can help you sell some decks. Any stuff like that. Home repairs. Would love to have you on the show. We got a lot of restaurants and car lots. Love them. But I think we need to diversify just a little bit, get some of these personal service type stuff on there. So reach out to me, clay@wyab.com. I want to circle back, Jen Psaki style, to a conversation from earlier. I told you I was going to read Sheriff Tyree Jones' response to a deputy being killed overnight. So I want to hit that up just to make sure I get that out there in case you guys haven't seen it yet. This is from Sheriff Tyree Jones. This was posted early this morning. I'm going to be cutting the onions a little bit here. He says, as I get back home, bring the night to a close and attempt to slumber for a few hours, I reflect on my evening and the last encounter I had with the fallen deputy. Just minutes before his untimely death, neither of us knew that when we shook hands and smiled on a call that we both responded regarding a capsized boat in the Pearl River in Terry, the very next call would be his last. I shook his hand, thanked him, he smiled, and we departed. While traveling back to my residence, I heard the next call for service in Terry, not far from where we were. The deputy and another colleague responded to a possible domestic situation. Shortly before arriving home, I heard the distress call from a deputy on the radio that immediately caught my attention. Quote, shots fired, shots fired. I sensed it was serious and needed to respond back to Terry immediately. While responding, I called the fallen deputy on the radio several times along with dispatch, but received no answer. The deputy who called shots fired was in survival mode due to the situation, but still performed very heroic acts. My heart sank as I rushed to the scene, not getting a response from the fallen deputy. Just prior to my arrival, I learned that he had been shot and was obviously deceased. There was an outpouring of support that arrived at the scene to assist with all efforts. We are thankful to all that came to assist. Deputy Shields died a hero. He died while responding to a call for service to assist someone in need. He fulfilled his assignment and his God-given mission on earth. Pray for his family, his friends, the many lives he touched, and the men and women of the Hinds County Sheriff's Office as we all prepare for a final salute. There's absolutely no way I could ever imagine or prepare to tell a family their deputy will not be coming home from their tour of duty. However, tragically, I found myself in that situation late this evening. Thank you to everyone for reaching out, offering condolences and prayers. There was a deputy who survived this encounter and joins Deputy Shields in the reign of heroes who selflessly serve. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. John 15:13. Very powerful post there from Sheriff Tyree Jones, Hinds County Sheriff. And that circles back to what I've been saying. There are no routine calls for our friends and family and law enforcement. The most mundane, routine calls you may think end up being the ones that can cost them their lives, or a butterfly effect that costs so many and affects so many other lives. I mean, look, for instance, at the one last night. You have a deputy, a father, a son, dead. You have another deputy shot. Don't know the extent of his injuries. Appears he's going to be okay. Easy for me to say I didn't get shot. You've got a family, talking about the suspect's family. Now they're without a father, a husband, and just the butterfly effect, the ripple effect of everybody that affects. And just a, air quotes, routine domestic call. There are no routine calls. And this being a domestic call just further drives home the fact that domestic violence situations are the absolute worst ones for police to go on. They know this. I'm not a cop, but I'm friends with enough, and I hear this from them constantly. So just keep them in your prayers. And gosh dang, man, if you and your old lady are beating on one another, don't take it out on the police when they get there. Disgusting. That goes back to a whole nother point here. I don't know if y'all are familiar or not, but Mississippi is lacking severely when it comes to women's shelters, battered women's shelters for folks that need to get out of bad situations but can't. And look, I'm going to catch some grief for what I'm about to say here, but that's what I do here. Some women can leave these situations, and they choose not to because they love their boo-boo. I love my baby daddy. I never let him go. And that ends up festering into these type situations. And I'm not saying that's what happened here last night. I'm just making a point. Women, if you can leave and you need to leave, gosh dang it, leave. There's more men out there. There's more men in the sea, I promise. Put a pretty picture on the internet and watch them slide into your DMs. You'll have your pick. Your body shape, type, and size is irrelevant from what I've seen. There are more men out there who will gladly step in and play captain. Men, I can talk to y'all any way I want to. I'm one of you. Stop that. There's no reason to ever get abusive with a female. Let's take a call on the Mazda Jackson phone line real quick. Hey, brother, we got a lot of background noise. Yeah, hey, Adam, call back. A lot of background noise there. I can't do all that on the radio. Look, there's no reason to ever put your hands on a female. I don't care if she's gone upside your head or anything. I don't care if you walked in, you caught her up into bed with another man. As bad as it may hurt in that moment, that man, they did you a favor. Now you know. Now you know. She a garden tool. And that's okay. There's more out there. I've learned that myself. There's more out there. You just may not, it may suck for a minute finding one, but you will. Let's see if we can get him in on here real quick before we get out of here. Hey, brother, you got about 30 seconds for the break.
Hey, real quick, most women that stay with guys like that, normally the guy's got a ton of money. That's 95% of the time that I've seen. You put it that way.
Yeah. Definitely. It's usually a financial situation, whether they got a ton of money or not, I don't know, but it's usually a financial situation because they have barricaded themselves into a situation where they're not working, they can't afford to move, whatever the case may be, so they're kind of financially trapped.
Yeah, well, and again, most of the time the dude's got a lot of money, the ones I've noticed. I'll just put it that way. Have a good day, Clay.
Hey, you too, brother. Thanks. Let's take a break real quick, come back, land the plane for the day. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back in to the Clay Edwards Show as we land the plane for the day, guys. The Blue Plate specials of the day at Burgers, Blues, Barbecue, all three locations, Flowwood at Dogwood, downtown Brandon, and Main Street in Madison. It's Monday. It's red beans and rice with sausage. Chicken, fried chicken. Oh, man, it sounds so good. And, of course, hamburger steak. I took my family there Friday, and we had a good old lunch at the downtown Brandon location. I got the burger of the month called the Love Handle. It's got their huge cheese sticks smashed down on it. It's a smash burger. Got extra cheese on it. Oh, man, it's got queso cheese. It was so good. Swing by and grab the Love Handle smash burger and fries or side for only $10. Also, McBee's out on the res. Man, I've had it 2 weeks in a row, and I may have it today. It's the chicken spaghetti Monday at McBee's. Their homemade chicken spaghetti is so good. And then Martin's, downtown and Livingston. The plate lunch special of the day is fried or grilled pork chops. I had the fried pork chop a few weeks ago. You can't beat it either. Get out, support these great sponsors. Don't forget, $15 Blue Plate of the day at the Manship, North State. I'll see y'all guys tomorrow. Chip Matthews next.